You can call me Sandruby. It's not my name. That's what you could call me. Amanda's rig seems to be running a little choppy with 3D face. I don't have a chibi like she does, so it's either this or a still picture. If things go too chunky, though, I will go ahead and switch over to the still picture. Because you don't really need to see my face, but apparently putting a face to anything is good for engagement. Oh, hold on, let me adjust my chair. That's better. Putting a face to anything is good for engagement, apparently. And as much as Amanda doesn't care about the numbers, broadening your fan base and the people who may be interested in you, that should always be a goal. So she's doing what she's doing, what she wants to play, what she wants to sing, but she's also trying to broaden her horizons and get some new fans out there. I don't know if she's really burned all the old bridges, like I said back during the karaoke. It's possible. But there's also... she's just streaming like I'm streaming at weird fucking times. Got brunch. Amanda thought it would be a good bit for me to do this riding while eating brunch. I don't know how that's a bit. That's how much, by the way, Amanda, how much effort Amanda puts into some of this shit. She does bits. I know a lot of VTubers don't do bits anymore, but she has ideas for bits throughout the day while she's at work, and she also incorporate them. So what is brunch today? You're having brunch with the Sandruby. I've got little chicken things with kind of a baked kind of potatoes with little cheese and little bacon on it. I don't think you'd call it a frittata, but I don't know what it's called. And also got a bowl of little dark cherries, Amanda's favorite. Just so we can pretend we're eating healthy. And to drink, I've got Oasis Vibe, Sparkling Prickly Pear Lime. She probably bought it because there's a cactus on it. I thought I found, she found somewhere where you could buy cactus water. Apparently that's more common than you'd think, but it's kind of hard to find out here. There are a lot of things that are common that are really hard to find out here. You are very bereft of choice if you're going shopping out here in the desert. You don't have a lot of options. So today, I'll just be yapping. Probably yapping to myself, but that's fine. Because it's 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. Who's gonna show up? That's fine. This is VOD Gang, and it'll allow me more time to be creative. Probably not gonna go past 1, maybe 2 at the most, because I'm streaming me Sal later today at 7 p.m. and then my obligations to Amanda on this channel are complete. For now. And in between that, Amanda's got some errands to run. Her water filter just blew. Not the water heater, that's fine, that's supposedly working okay, but her water filter. The water out here in the desert some of it is really, really bad, and you just straight up can't drink it without a filter. So she's got to go pick up one of those. So I don't know how long we'll be going today. If no one shows up, I might just cut it early, but it's not about, like I said, this time of day, it's not about engagement, it's not about people showing up. Amanda's half-minute hero stream, the one she did on Sunday, only had 2 people showing up very briefly to chat, and it's her most viewed video on the channel. And the second most viewed video on the channel is just 1 hour of me texting. So, like I said, She's probably burned a lot of bridges, but the strongest bridges are formed in iron, I guess. When we get going, though, I did want to say that and bring up something that I touched on her Twitter, that we are doing things a little bit differently from now on. We're not engaging the trolls. We're not feeding the trolls. We're reporting. We are blocking. And we are letting management handle things. Actual management. So, and we are mental health, working on mental health. If Amanda doesn't feel like she can stream, it's okay to cancel the stream. It's okay to postpone a stream. The problem with Amanda is that she is putting in the same ethic into streaming that she does at her job as an administrator at Desert Salt LLC. And that's not how the entertainment industry works. Oh. These dark cherries are amazing. I'm gonna have to steal some from her when I leave. Get like a insulated bag or... Amanda has like a whole stack of insulated shopping bags. Because it's a long walk from any reasonable outlets back to the Motel California. So keeping frozen food in a thermal bag is really one of the only two options, and the other one is like getting an Uber. And just getting an Uber. Occasionally she'll do that though, just get groceries in an Uber. She gets a little paranoid about buying groceries at Walmart's or Kroger's or any of those stores like Buc-ee's or whatever. Any of the places that deliver groceries, like, I don't know what they fucking call them. There's a whole lot of them. Because she's worried about people taking shit from in front of her door. Although I think that has eased up, though, because her management, her job, Desert Salt LLC, did a lot of shit. They sent a lot of stuff to her door. Important stuff like computers and monitors and stuff. And nobody touched it. So that's kind of eased her mind, and that might be good. Take some pressure off of her spine. She's been having chronic... I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about this, but Amanda's been having chronic spine issues for quite a while. I guess that's part of the aftermath of getting run over by the isekai truck, isn't it? I feel like I don't have to differentiate between what's real and what's lore, because if you're intelligent enough and you can read context clues, then you can assess. It's like when Kiryu Coco says she's from the United States of Dragon America, but we all know what she's talking about. We know what she's fucking talking about. I honestly don't know what I'm supposed to say. She just said to write. She had some ideas about what she wanted me to be. Because I came out half-baked, for lack of a better term. I was not supposed to premiere initially until Halloween. Then I was going to premiere on October 17th, her 3-month anniversary, to give me a premiere and then do something on Halloween. But then things happened and she pulled out the idea early, and we did the karaoke on Splatter Day, and it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. But it's a learning experience. And I believe Amanda's learned a lot this week. If she didn't, I wouldn't be supporting her like this. So I think Amanda's going to make a lot of changes going forward, and you're going to see that starting when she does Legend of the Mystic Ninja on Splatter Day, Saturday, and then more Half Minute Hero on Sunday. And I don't plan on making my presence known after today for a while. I don't want to have to. Because usually when you see me, it's not fun times. Amanda's the fun one. So Amanda has essentially kind of sort of canceled her Desert Chronicles series. She has not been able to find anyone. She's been able to find people who want to do collabs. She's got about 4 or 5 pending collabs coming up once things calm down, because we're getting into the holiday season. It's going to be harder to do this type of stuff. But as far nobody seems interested in Desert Chronicle, which is her role-playing / Zatsu / gameplay thing. So we may just be doing the one up, have the one and done with Kara and Malone. If anyone is interested in I promised her I'd plug that shit. If anyone is interested in doing experimental roleplay / Zatsudan thing, it's kind of like a point-and-click adventure. Let her know in the Discord, and I think I opened her DMs again. I think. I'm not gonna check though. I don't give that much of a shit. Her Twitter. Her Twitter's all promotional. Alright, so just giving a moment for brunch. I don't know why she insisted on being brunch though. It's like 11:20 here. It's almost lunch anyways. We could just order like Chipotle or something. I hear they got the brisket wraps back. Alright. So we're gonna start. We're probably not going to do a full story today, like Amanda did on her first writing stream, but we need to hammer out what I am. Because I'm not just quote-unquote evil Amanda. I'm my own entity. I'm Sandruby. The mask, by the way, is purely ornamental. I've got several masks available. This is not indicative of the normal mask I use, as you can see in a couple of the promotional pictures I use. We found one that was somewhat good, somewhat close for Violates Studio, but it was like $3 in yen, and it was just issues trying to buy something out the booth and get the rights and everything. So she found this free asset, porcelain, and just it didn't look like a mask initially, but I turned off the face tracking for the mouth, and now it's a mask. So we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, I don't expect anyone to show up. It's 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. This is only streaming because right now this is convenient for Amanda. This is anything that's for just VOD gang. We're gonna do a little creative writing. We're gonna answer the question, who is Sandruby? Well, first of all, we need to establish who was Amanda. Let me know if the background music is too loud or too soft. I found something on Pixabay, that site that Amanda's always going on about with the free assets, and I thought it'd be good because you gotta have something. You gotta have something, otherwise you'll just hear the fan that's going off or the construction going on. Yeah, about a half hour before stream time. They started construction out here in front of the Motel California. I hope y'all can't hear it. It's pissing me off. Hello, Era of Logic. Yes, I am Sandruby. That's not my name. That's what you can call me. And we're gonna establish a few things today. We're gonna do a little lore. Feel free to stop by. Okay, so just to very simply, now what I'm using, this is what Amanda uses. She got very angry when she found out that Microsoft Office, which we'd been using for free for years, and like almost a couple decades, I think. We're using it for free. It's now a yearly paid service, charge service. That was infuriating. But it goes to a trend I've seen of things that used to be free now becoming subscription services. They need to bleed you out. They need to bleed you out! And for money every month for something you used to get for a one-time fee. I didn't even mind paying a one-time fee for it. Or I could just fire up an old computer that had Windows 95 on it and just write. So we're using Open Office today. It's a free use software that's essentially mimics Microsoft Office, but it's called Open Office. Now, as far as where we're going to upload these, Amanda initially wanted to make a DeviantArt, but I don't think that's proper with what DeviantArt's become these days. Then, as an ironic twist, I suggested Archive of Our Own. So we're gonna decide to do. Well, once we'll decide where to upload it. I'll probably just upload the actual file itself in the Discord. Pirated a few years. Well, I think it would actually break YouTube's terms of service to openly advocate piracy. So I'm just advocating what's free. Same with Adobe stuff. Office is kind of weird. I've used it before. It's not the exact same. Like, Amanda uses Office for her administrative stuff, but it's close enough. It's close enough to facsimile, and it's free, so we really can't complain. So I'm supposed to be, although she has admitted over the last couple days, I was initially just supposed to be the antagonist in her story, but it looks like she may have changed her mind on that. So we're gonna start by establishing from the story that she wrote the first time during the first Graves Rancher stream, who and what is Amanda. She was originally a sacred creature, assumed to be a coyote spirit out in desert. Resembling the Mojave. It's because, like I said in one of my missives, the desert is not the Mojave, but it's about as close as you're gonna get. The desert is somebody misremembering the Mojave. So anyone who's played like Fallout New Vegas, that type of area, or anyone who like watches Robert Rodriguez films, or like listens to Tom Waits and stuff like that, it's a desert, but it's like Americana also. She figured that would be easiest to understand. And out in the desert, if something gets run over, who cares, right? She was run over by the Isekai truck and was born to a magical girl. Now, she says seemingly no powers because at some point she might have to do an ass pull. For storyline purposes, an ass pull is some kind of power. So it's just seemingly no powers. This mixing of... I want to say mixing of magics, but I know there's a better term for it. This mixing of like theologies, or no, this crash because it was an actual crash of theologies ended with a 6'6" lanky bony, sickly woman in the middle of the desert, taken care of and tended to by a local native American. Oh, let's. So, I've got a baseline for what she is. Originally a sacred creature, assumed to be a coyote spirit. Although Amanda is not the most reliable narrator when it comes to the stories, and you wouldn't blame her, wouldn't call her a liar, because maybe after she got ran over by the fucking truck, her memory's not the clearest. But she was assumed to be a coyote spirit out in the desert, in an American region resembling the Mojave. She was run over by the isekai truck and was transformed into a magical girl with seemingly no powers. This crash of theologies ended up with a 6'6", lanky, bony, sickly woman in the middle of the desert, taken care of and attended to by a local Native American outpost called the Splats. And that explains... I think that explains her succinctly enough. So then there was me. How I was actually created right into this world is there was an image. She was fooling around with ideas. And the image of her sitting at the poolside, looking like that poster from Flashdance, that's what brought her into this world. It went so hard to birth her. And for me, it was one picture of me standing on the road at night in front of a broke-down truck. I was trying to do the video from Cardinal Police by Radiohead. And it just had to develop it. But there are several different ways we could go with this. Several different ideas she had. And ways to branch out. We'll go ahead and hammer out what... I don't think we'll make a final choice today. But we'll narrow it down. I'm going to try some of that chicken potato bake. Chicken's kind of dry. Potatoes are good, but the chicken's kind of dry. This drink she had, because she refused to buy me mimosa. This Oasis vibe sparkling prickly pear lime. It's actually quite good. It's not an energy drink, although I don't think Celsius markets themselves as energy drinks anymore. But it is good for what it is. Might have to pick up a couple more of these when we go out later and pick up the filters. Broken water filters. So, there were two different schools of thought about what I am. The first school of thought is, what are we that, since we look so similar and only exist within a vicinity of each other, are we the same person? Or are we different people? Gonna go ahead and run down those possibilities. Now, under Amanda and Sandruby being the same person, there are two questions. I kind of want to bullet point these, but that would make it too messy, so just... Oh, I forgot to turn the number lock off. I think that was a gaming thing. One. Are Sander same person? Or are Amanda and Sandruby different people? Okay. So, 1A. Oh, it automatically does it. That's kind of nice. But it does get annoying. It automatically bullets the numbers. A. 1A. Does Amanda know he's 1A? Sandruby. Or 1B, Amanda doesn't know Sandruby. Good question, yeah, and that's what we're gonna figure out today. I'm only gonna go as long as my inspiration holds. There is gonna be a hard cap, but I'm trying to figure out what that hard cap is gonna be because I said I do need to go into town and get some water filters. Just trying to do the math on when we would leave. Yeah, cause I'm doing Misa out tonight at 7 o'clock, so we'd need to get back by then as well. And now as far as option 2. Are Sandruby and Amanda different people? This didn't bullet though. This didn't bullet. Gonna have to trick it. Or not. Whatever. Oh, there we go. Tricked it. I do that. Sandruby and Amanda different people. 2A. Listed. 2B. Same time Amanda existed. C. Ruby existed after Amanda existed. Because then there are possibilities we could follow it out for any of those as well. But let's start with the one that may narratively be more interesting. The possibility of Amanda and Sandruby being the same person. Honestly, I think this is the kind of stream that's more suited for me. I don't need to be as entertaining. I can just talk about what's on my mind. I know that's what Amanda initially wanted to do with this channel. She didn't even want to do gaming at all like ASCII. But even eventually ASCII did gaming. And when she found out her rig could run some of the games she initially didn't think she could. Okay, so Let's look into the possible implications of what if Amanda and Sandruby are the same person. Okay, so if Amanda knows she's Sandruby, so let's assume that Amanda and Sandruby are the same person, and she knows she's Sandruby. It's going to be a feast for your ears. What would that imply? What would that imply? That could be cool. Multiple personalities activated something, controlled by an artifact or something. Well, it's possible, but I'm talking about more about Amanda creating Sandruby out of whole cloth, as opposed to Sandruby being something that existed outside of Amanda. Yeah, I do have a couple ideas that kind of line up with that, though. So why, if we're the same person and she knows we're the same person, um, why would that exist? Possibly as an outlet for her tendencies or her fears. Amanda is a very secure, scared person who's just trying to be cool. And Ruby could be an excuse for her to take the mask off, so to speak. To act out her fear slash anger. What would that say about Amanda, though? Eventually, if we're going to look into doing a character arc for Amanda, as far as the lore goes, as she would eventually get stronger and be able to speak up for herself, things like that, then Sandruby would have less and less of a reason to exist. I don't know how I feel about that. Damn, this Celsius Oasis vibe sparkling Berkeley Pear Lime is pretty fucking good. Not sponsored, by the way, not sponsored. You gotta be careful claiming you're sponsored or not. You might get strung up for saying you're sponsored by these nuts. Okay. So what would the implications of that be? Eventual implications could include her finally gaining the confidence, stand up for herself, speak her mind, and eventually that Ruby no longer existing. I feel like this would fly a little bit in the face of what I've established, though, previously in the 3 1 hour witching hour streams that I did. Gotta go against it. So I'm really not leaning towards that one, but it's a possibility. Okay, let's look at the other one, the schizophrenic one. Amanda doesn't know she's Sandruby. Let's just call a spade a spade. She had a psychotic breakdown. Dude would reach a psychotic breakdown. Split off or of hurt and rage into a separate entity. Deal with them. This makes her not cognizant of Sandruby's presence. So, for any old school wrestling fans, kind of like Abyss with Chris Park and not Joseph Park. Which one was the lawyer? Abyss and Joseph Park, lawyer. Kind of like that connection where he didn't know he was Abyss. Well, he thought it was like Abyss's brother. And the first one could potentially, I'll go back to it, that'd be the light up with Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas. That is, you see Amanda talking about Bray Wyatt and how much she loved Bray Wyatt, how much of an inspiration Bray Wyatt was. Obviously Sandruby borrows a lot from Uncle Howdy, and that Uncle Howdy's connection to Bo Dallas. Although Amanda hasn't watched wrestling in months, like after WrestleMania 40, when Cody finished his story, she kind of gave up. Because she felt that'd be a good place to get off. Although she did watch the Uncle Howdy promos and the premiere of the Wyatt 6. Which I'm just happy Gacy is getting a shot at the big time. I'm happy Gacy is getting a shot. I'm happy Loomis is getting a serious shot, because they fucked him up so bad when they brought him up to the main roster. Like with EC3. They didn't know what to do with him. Hopefully at least this way, they'll give him another shot. And as much as I don't like Rowan, I really thought Rowan was the weakest part of that group. With everything that's happened with Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt both passing away, it does my heart good to see him included. And of course, Abby the Witch. The last ever Heart 24/7 champion. It's a pleasure to see her in such a prominent role. But yeah, that's partially what I believe Amanda was going for with the inspired by Uncle Howdy. So, I don't know if I'm a big fan of Amanda not knowing that she's Sandruby, because eventually Bo Dallas did recognize that he is Uncle Howdy, and it feel a little bit cheap. I'm leaning more towards, if we're the same person, leaning towards being she knows it. Now there's a question, because we've had it's leaked a little bit, but it has leaked that there has been a couple of conversations between us. So what if Sandruby and Amanda are different people? First question is that Sandruby, what if Sandruby always existed? And when we're talking about existed, we're talking about the moment that Amanda was run over by the isekai truck and became Amanda Splatz. We It's a question of where did Sandruby come before or come after? But what if Sandruby was always there before Amanda? Was something out there in the desert? Sandruby's first missive had her wearing a coyote mask instead of her usual porcelain mask. Although Amanda's origin story led us to believe that she was a coyote spirit, this was not guaranteed. Guaranteed is a weird word, for this was not confirmed. Gotta pick some of these up. I'm trying to drink less soda. We don't drink regular soda at all, just the zero sugar stuff. We're trying to cut down on those as well. So this was not confirmed as the coyote in Native American culture is more regarded as a trickster spirit. It would seem this fits Sandruby more than Amanda, and could be Sandruby trying to control the narrative. Now, Sandruby's first was a coyote mask and a usual porcelain mask. Although Amanda's origin story led us to believe she was a coyote spirit, as this is not confirmed, as the coyote of Native American culture is more regarded as a trickster spirit, it would seem this fits Sandruby more than Amanda. Maybe Sandruby trying to control the narrative. So what kind of things would lie out there in the desert? Like I said, the desert isn't the Mojave Desert, the American Mojave, like Utah and Nevada and Arizona, that area, but it's as close as you're going to get. We have not yet revealed the actual location of the desert yet. We may never. That might just be one of those things where we don't have to reveal it. Not everything in a story has to be revealed or explained. Some of it can be nebulous, and I feel like there's not a lot of that anymore in fiction, where sometimes just it's left up the imagination. And Lovecraft did that. Lovecraft did that a lot, especially when in his character descriptions or descriptions. He left a lot of things up to people's imaginations because he knew that the things that people would think up and imagine are scarier than anything that anyone could hammer out or describe. Leaving it to the imagination. Because when you're laying in your bed at 3 a.m, the witching hour, the thoughts that are going through your head without any way to relay them or anyone to relay them to because your partner's asleep. or you don't want to wake them up. The thoughts, I believe the term is sad boy hours. That type of thing. Your brain fills in. And I believe they actually did studies that at that time of the morning, your brain is not fully awake and fully functioning logically. So that's why sad boy hours exist when they do. Okay, so if Sandruby existed before Amanda did, was always out in the desert, then that would mean manage of Amanda or take control of her. Although she doesn't seem fully malevolent. Although she doesn't seem fully malevolent. I was going to be fully malevolent, but things changed when she broke down. I was initially going to be the antagonist for the story. But I think maybe the story doesn't need an antagonist. So if I existed from the past, what am I? I had a really weird idea. It doesn't fit the Mojave. It doesn't fit the Mojave theme of the desert, but it's something I read in other literature. Sandruby could be a lich. Controlling or using the quote-unquote dead Amanda as a puppet, or for lack of a better term, because I think a lich is a very interesting. If you're not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons type of lore, they're wizards who have kind of, I don't know how to put this, kind of lost their humanity and they're just kind of husks. So it would be a necromancer, I guess, if we're using this and assuming that Amanda did die from the isekai. And then there's the more popular evil, the corporate evil. Could be part of the organization that drives, that owns the fleet of isekai trucks that initially ran Amanda over. Because what do you know about Truck-kun? What do we really know about Truck-kun? Where Truck-kun comes from? Was that ever actually explained in any of these fucking 500 identical shitty isekai anime that came out and made Amanda stop watching anime for a while? Did they ever go over that? Or is it just a fucking plot device at this point? But yeah, since we're kind of, and this is gonna sound really stupid, but anyone remember Aladdin, the TV series, the cartoon show from a long time ago? They made I know Disney did a thing where they made a lot of TV shows out of their movie properties. A few of them were really good. Aladdin was really good. And when they did those shitty direct-to-movie sequels, Return of Jafar and Prince of Thieves or whatever it was, they borrowed heavily from the TV shows. So they're essentially kind of like made-for-TV movies. But the TV show for Aladdin was actually really good. Very interesting. It had an interesting cast of characters. But when you have a genie, you gotta find some way to nerf his powers. Because otherwise he could just do anything he wanted. So they had a really interesting thing in the Aladdin TV show to help nerf the genie. And they said that mixing magics does not work. Cannot do anything with mixing magics. So that was a way to keep him in check when the antagonist used some kind of other magic. So that would help out. So it's like mixing the Eastern isekai with the Western kind of guardian spirit type of thing. Things went wrong. Necromancer general evil is a deal with the dead. Sorcerers all kind of over the place as they make pacts with the Fae. Demons, devils, just any magical, I think even angels. Thank you for stopping by, Malone. I honestly didn't know if you'd be awake this early in the day. Amanda said y'all were playing Minecraft after her stream even ended. How are you and Nicola doing with that? You gotten all the requirements yet? And yet necromancers generally are considered evil just because in the state of what they do. But I feel like especially in the VTuber space, maybe necromancers are a little bit more accepted because of Uhuru Rushia and the type of legacy she left. So that might be a little bit more accepted. Doing good. How about you? I'm streaming and Amanda's not. That should tell you how it's going. But it's doing better. I'm just enjoying brunch. Although it's noon here in the desert, so it's technically lunch. It was a little dumb to do a brunch anyways. But we're just spitballing. Spitballing and playing Meet Sal later. Amanda does apologize that it's a weird place. Amanda apologizes that she overlaps you so much, but she also knows that you've given her permission to do that because your schedules are so similar. And she does really want to collab with you again once you figure out what you can do. But right now we're just gonna try to be creative for a little bit before I have to go and pick up some water filters. Shortly after the Nicola collab, I went to sleep, forgot to eat, and woke up hungry. Well, you're having brunch with Sandruby. I'm having chicken with kind of a potato bake with cheese and a little bacon. And I think I've got a new favorite drink. It's Celsius Oasis Sparkling Prickly Pear Lime. Quite good. But unlike the Viva stream that I did, it's kind of nice to not be gaming or to have a goal. It's nice to just do this, be creative, and there is a time crunch, but it's I can put it off, and if worse comes to worse, I can move Miss Sal back an hour. I know Amanda wanted to do the 7-11 thing this week. But she's got so much time now because she's working from home, and she's literally got 3 to 4 more hours a day in her schedule. So she can move things up or back if she needs to. So enjoy, rest, Malone. Prepare for whatever you're doing today. You're doing you're doing Witcher Wednesday today, aren't you? Amanda, I might let Amanda use the rig for a couple hours to watch you before I do Masao, because I know you've been part of the reason you haven't been doing Witcher is I know part of the reason is because you were collabing with Amanda for like 3 weeks on Wednesdays, and she felt bad about pushing Witcher back, and then I know part of it is because that one day your computer exploded. So let's move on. So Amanda could be part of the organization that owns the fleet of isekai trucks that initially ran Amanda over, because we don't know what that is. And what else could I be if I was there before Amanda was? There's the easy one. Sandruby could actual coyote spirit self. Be the actual coyote spirit herself. And Amanda was something else that got run over and transmogrified. Now, the initial... There was a lot of collabs, yeah. And I think that's why Amanda didn't want to collab with you for a little while, because she felt like she was monopolizing your time. But she tried to set up collabs with other people as well, but you know that things fall through. Things fall through. Although it did do her heart good to finally collab and karaoke with Nicola. As much as a mess as that was, she greatly enjoyed it. But yeah, she would love to collab with you again. However, not this week. Because doing Miss Sal later tonight. Thursday and Friday, you're not going to be hearing from Amanda because things are going to be a little crazy here. She's trying to pick up some extra hours at work because she missed a lot of work over the last month or so with her health and everything going on. So after this, you probably won't be hearing from her until Splatter Day Legend of the Mystic Ninja. She wanted to do Mystic Ninja with someone like I think Amanda initially wanted to play the Legend of the Mystic Ninja with you, Malone, but because it is a 2-player game, and I believe it's a little faster with 2 players, but that would be like 7 to 8 hours. Number one, and number two, there's no way for the emulator she uses to play remotely, because I think there'd still be that lag. So I think the only 2 ways to do something like that, to split off a Super Nintendo emulator or a Nintendo emulator, either go to Parsec, which is a company where you can rent like a remote desktop everyone can get on, or install Fightcade. And I don't know if Fightcade might reveal someone's ISPs or not, so there'd have to be a better way. Malone home. Malone, did you phone home? Malone, fly away home. Your house is on fire and your children will burn. I'm a big fucking ball of sunshine, I know. Oh, possible idea. Possibly the driver herself, because we established that it may be a self-driving truck, and that would be the easiest way. But what if it was? What if something happened to? What if someone was driving the isekai truck, and what if something happened to him? Because it couldn't all have been focused under that wheel, right? Okay, now the next possibility. What if Sandruby existed at the same time Amanda existed? When the animal spirit got run over by the isekai truck. it's possible that the clash of, let's say magic for lack of a better term, it's not magic, resulted in more than one casualty. If it was a wolf, if it was a coyote spirit that got run over, it's possible Sandruby is the memory of the god itself, or the traces. Like in Fear and Hunger, when you're fighting the old gods, you're not actually fighting Grogaroth or Sylvan or Rare. You're fighting their traces, because you, as a mere human, would not be strong enough to even comprehend their body, so you're just fighting their images. That could be what I am. And the physical form is, so if something happened on that roadway that split us and I am the god, then what would that make Amanda? Be cool, as they are mischievous. Yes. Amanda initially decided on Coyote Spirit for what she used to be, just because of the Mojave and what's out there, without actually thinking about the implications of the Coyote Spirit. Something that did more fit Sandruby than Amanda herself. So it's possible that in her pain, Amanda was a unreliable narrator and did not know what was happening to her. But one of us is a coyote spirit, probably. So if that happened, what is, and the physical form is Amanda, the actual roadkill body. I don't know if I like that one. I'm not 100% sure I like that one, but it's possible. We're just throwing a lot of stuff at the wall today. We're not hammering anything serious out. K3, Sandruby after Amanda existed. Maybe the earth is all living things return to it. Yeah. Eventually all living things get ground into the dirt. Some of them while they're still alive. That's your daily affirmation from Sandruby. So what if I existed after Amanda was quote-unquote created? I didn't think this one out. Although going back to 2B now, there is another idea I had. Or possibly Amanda. And I think this is a weird fucking idea Amanda had in the bathtub. Not the bathtub, in the shower one day. Possibly Amanda could be an alien, and Sandruby is another member of her race. That's a really, really weird outside idea I had. Considering that they are tall, pale slash gray skin, and lanky. Originally, the tall, lanky, bony thing was just supposed to be a reference to Fujikura Uruka, but it may possibly, if she is a gray, if it turns out that Amanda and Sandruby are grays, that might be a weird twist. It's like if this was Silent Hill, that would be the UFO ending. Yeah, Hero of Logic has been a real friend of Amanda's as well, stopping by streams. It's much appreciated whenever seeing them. I know Amanda, like she knows, like there are not a lot of people in her streams these days as there used to be, but that's normal. She premiered on July 17th in the summer, where a lot of the target demographic had time off. And now we're getting into the holiday season and everyone's going back to work and preparing for shit, college. Um, Amanda didn't go to college. She went briefly, but then figured that college didn't really have much to offer her, and her talents could be used going right straight into the workforce. College didn't seem, and she's got a job now at Desert LLC, Desert Salt LLC, and she's been there for like 6 years now, and already in middle management. So, not saying she's made the right decision, but I just had that bowl of dark cherries. I just sipped the juice from that bowl. It was nice and bitter. I think I woke up now. Flex from time to time, Wednesday usually midweek, so people are either at work or school, yeah. I don't know if you could tell, but this is... Amanda Splatt's project is not catered to little kids or the children's. It's more of an adult channel. And I don't mean adult as in like purple-haired butt floss woman everywhere. I mean, like, we're not doing brain rot here. Nobody is sticking out their gat for the Rizzler. Now, I did not think too much what if Sandruby existed after Amanda. It is possible that something in the desert was awakened by the magics at play that created Amanda. This thing, Sandruby has stated she is borrowing Amanda's face and voice, so it may be some sort of mimic or manifestation of the desert itself. I'll never let go of that image. Well, Amanda will let go of that image when her butt lets go of that floss. So I feel like we've got a lot of potential ideas. I didn't think we're actually going to get to start into actual story today. I'm just trying to hammer out and look over the potential ideas and see what we want to go with. We're not going to lock anything in today, but I think we'll get a pretty good idea. The Bug Girl from Overlord. I'm not familiar with that one. I think I've heard of it, but it turned me off. Okay, so we got a few different ideas we could go over. I wanted to try writing a little bit of a story, and I think it could be vague enough where it could be any of these things. But like I said, now that Amanda's water, not the water heater, the filter, the water out here in the desert is revolting. Like, it's safe to drink, but it's revolting. You really do need a filter. And Amanda's filter drinks them died out. She gets the zero water filters because they actually have a tester that shows you that the filter itself is working and when to change it. she just lost the tester. Now she can taste that when she pours it in, it doesn't taste like it at all. It may just be not time to get a new container as well. But yeah, she's gonna be getting that and possibly picking up some extra hours. So I don't think we have enough time to write a full thing, but we might get the germ of an idea. So let's look at the potential. Is Sandruby and Amanda the first of all, what sounds better if Sandruby and Amanda are the same person? Possibly an outlet for the darker tendencies if she knows she's Sandruby, an excuse to take the mask off. But what would that say as a man about Amanda, though? If Amanda is supposed to be the big protagonist, what would it say about her having to hide behind Sandruby? It would make Amanda seem weaker than she already is, and although the potential arc there would be her growing up and not eventually needing Sandruby, I don't know. I don't feel like I like how weak that makes Amanda look, even though she is vulnerable, because where do you go from there also? And it could be playing into how she is your faithful Amanda Splats. So I don't know how I feel about that one. I do lean more towards the possibility of Amanda not knowing she's Sandruby if we go with them being the same entity. Because anyone who was astute enough to listen at the beginning of the Half Minute Hero stream may have heard a conversation between the two of us. And I don't think that's something she would do if she knew she was Sandruby. So, I kind of want to go ahead and strike out Amanda not knowing, or knowing that she's Sandruby. How do I do strike out? Fuck it. If we're gonna do the same person thing, one of the big inspirations for Sandruby, is anyone here a fan of Fubuki? Number one best friend Fubuki, High Corn. One of Coco's greatest defenders and greatest heroes. Fubuki had Kurokame, I believe it is. The dark Fubuki, who is able to say things that Fubuki, as friend, is not able to say or able to do. But in that case, in character, they're two different people. So that wouldn't really even be the same thing as Amanda not knowing she's Sandruby, because if they have the two different personalities and we've spoken to each other and interacted with each other, I don't know how that would work out. So thinking about the lore that's already been established, we can retcon anything. But thinking about what's already been established and what's already been laid down, I think I want to gravitate away from Amanda and Sandruby being the same person and go into them being different people. Now, as far as Sandruby existing after Amanda was created, like I said, I didn't have any concrete ideas for that. And it's a little hard to come up with something concrete because that would have to be its own origin story in and of itself. The core, the crux of the story is, Amanda getting run over by the Isekai truck and becoming a faithful Amanda Splats in the desert like 12, 13 years ago. Maybe someday I'll tell you what the date of her getting run over actually corresponds to in real life. Because it's actually something worse. A lot worse. But in the story, it's the date she got run over. Now, as far as... So then there's also a question. If I'm the coyote spirit, if I'm the trickster, then what would Amanda be? because it's not necessarily lying and thinking she's. Amanda doesn't know she's anything right now. All as far as Amanda's concerned, she just survived a car accident or a running over accident, truck accident, whatever. I don't think she even has memories of being a god. She's just Amanda Splats right now. So, Sandruby. So if Sandruby always existed, learn to a missive, had a coyote mask. I could be the coyote spirit. Sandruby could be trying to control the narrative. Could be Sandruby's trying to take advantage of magic control of her, though she doesn't seem fully malevolent. I kind of like that. I kind of like that because it more fits into the Native American culture's version of the coyote. There was some. I hope I don't fuck up the connection or drop frames by looking something up while I'm streaming. But there was one story I read. Let's see if I can find a coyote in Native American culture and mythology. Good old Wikipedia. Ikara, thank you again for showing Amanda the coyote or the Brave browser. It saved her life, metaphorically. Right now, we're sitting at 56 minutes saved, 102 or 1,021.2 megabytes bandwidth saved, and 66,066 trackers and ads blocked. So doing okay for, especially since this thing is only on for a few hours a week. Yeah, so going by Wikipedia, the coyote is the tutelary spirit of Coyote Way, one of the Navajo curing ceremonies. Ceremony intended to restore the plant's harmonious relationship with the coyote in the world and to bring about a return to good health. Well, that might be interesting because Amanda is a sickly, spindly bitch. So if it's about, I'm gonna put a pin in that. I'm gonna look that up separately. Put a pin in that. A common theme of the coyote is benefiting the human community by organizing the theft of fire or the sun from supernatural. So the coyote works both ways. He's tricky for the people, and he's a trickster for the gods. So may just not be as malevolent as once thought. Some stories depict coyote as the embodiment of evil lechery. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that shit, no. Southwest. Coyote also appears in traditions of the Jicarilla Apache. In the mythology of Tohono O'odham, people of Arizona, he appears as an associate of culture hero Montezuma. Also appears in trickster stories of those people, told by collective natives in stories, the usual mix of gestures with tricky twists and ulterior motives. So, I think I like that. I think I like Sandruby being the coyote spirit, not Amanda. Because even though it is a trickster, it's not malicious. Or not always malicious, apparently. So I like that. Let's see which of the things we've written down so far matches that narrative. Brave is good since it comes with a good base. You can add plugins to help even more. Yeah, I want to explore that. I know Google had its own plugins, and there was a whole thing about that. About ad blockers now and them ramping up things against ad blockers. I haven't experienced that with Brave yet, though. Although I use Brave for desktop, that might be it. So I said mischievous, not malevolent. I have like several different browsers I use for things. That's a lot. Do you do you log in with a different account for every browser, Hero? Do you have like Hero in one browser, Hero number two logged in a different browser? Because that's a trick that a coworker of Amanda's once used, logging into their real stuff in like Chrome and their work account in Firefox and an alt account in Edge, etc. It was a easy way to manage multiple accounts at once. One in Firefox, two in what? Hero, I can tell you're going to be a fucking problem, but I'm not 100% sure you want to solve them. You are. You're a pistol. And sometimes we all need to shoot our shot. Okay. So which of these would best fit the narrative? Sandruby always existed. First must have had a coyote mask instead of the usual porcelain mask. Although Amanda's origin story led us to believe that she was a coyote spirit. Lich. I like the Lich as a story idea, as a story hook. Actually controlling the dead body of Amanda. But it is a Dungeons and Dragons, more of a European thing, and I don't really think it fits the whole Mojave narrative. So I don't know. I might use that for like a future story or a D&D campaign, because I want to do D&D or some kind of homebrew. Or Amanda, rather. I don't have time for that shit, but Amanda is interested in doing it. That's why she wanted to do Desert Chronicle, kind of a D&D light just storytelling and stuff. But no one seems to be interested in following up on that. Possibly, Sandruby could be part of the organization. There was the possibility with me wearing a suit and tie and everything that I would be some kind of big corporate evil or corporate company evil. But if we're going by me being the coyote spirit, then we can kind of drop the corporate evil aspect. So being part of the organization that it's Guy Trucks, or yeah, Sandruby could be the actual coyote spirit itself. Amanda was something else that got. So then, what is Amanda? If I am, it's probably more likely that that the coyote spirit did not get run over at all. That something else got run over that day. I can run the D&D campaign, just got to learn the rules better. Granted, never DM'd before. What Amanda was doing with Desert Chronicle, that was the type of role-playing she did along back in the day. There was no dice, no cards, no random chance, etc. It's just two people doing storytelling back and forth. Like back in the old days, if anyone remembers, like Cheetah Chat or Yahoo Rooms back in the ancient days. I think that may be a little too old for most of my viewers. Holy shit, I have viewers now. And the question is, if I am the trickster spirit, what do I want out of Amanda? The coyote and never has more regarding trickster spirit would seem this fits Sandruby more than Amanda. Sandruby could be trying to control the narrative. But then why am I trying to control the narrative with Amanda? Is she just entertainment for me? I'm going to go on the assumption that Sandruby is the coyote spirit and not Amanda. But Amanda is also something magical. Then that would kind of retcon the original story, wouldn't it? I have to go back over the original story that Amanda wrote about her origins. No, wait. Could be more than one coyote spirit. The magical was run over by. I think I got it. I think I got it. Huh. It's possible that Amanda was just once a coyote and not a typical coyote spirit. Yeah, because what if the magic in Amanda didn't come from what she used to? What if she was just a normal coyote? And that could. Sure. And when a coyote was crushed under the isekai wheel, it could easily have gotten attention of the coyote spirit, assumed to be Sandruby. Much in the way that Loth, the goddess of the drow, is very hands-on with her race. If anyone remembers, or is into drow elves, the Underdark, Amanda used to roleplay with somebody who did a lot of drow stuff. She picked up a lot of that stuff, so it might be an interesting twist. One of the few gods or minor gods that has an active role. Well, Amanda Splat's OG lore was a magical girl. Yeah. The one in the Mongolian document was a magical girl. But I believe Amanda started as Amanda Splat's OVA, because the magical girl thing being run over, that's more of like an 80s Sailor Moon type anime, and what you see now is the Gritty's 90 reboot. So actually being lorded over by the coyote spirit itself might be an interesting twist. So we're gonna assume that Sandruby is a coyote spirit, not Amanda. But Amanda is also something magical. She was run over by the isekai truck. It's possible that Amanda was just once a coyote and not a mythical coyote spirit. And when the coyote was crushed under the isekai wheel, it could have easily gotten the attention of the coyote spirit, assumed to be Sandruby, much in the way that Loth, the goddess of the drow, is very hands-on with the race. With Amanda being revived, so to speak, as a magical girl, lanky, bony, 6'6" desert bitch. This could bring up mixed feelings in Sandruby, sparking her curiosity that one of her subjects could become this curiosity. Possibly anger over a Coyote being, quote, desecrated like this, or but most likely curiosity and the potential that as a coyote trickster spirit, Sandruby could simply be looking to see how this could benefit her. Do you know the anime Shaman? I've heard of it. I haven't delved too deep into it because it's one of those shonen anime, isn't it? Like fucking One Piece. People trying to get people like Amanda said, she's got a backlog of anime from the 80s and 90s to watch. So how's she gonna start One Piece now? Although she was tempted. She was tempted when she found out that Mori was doing one of the ending songs, because she really admires Mori. But when she found out Mori was also doing the song for the Suicide Squad anime, and she has no fucking intention of watching that shit, I think it was okay. There's just such a backlog of stuff to watch, both from 80s and 90s, and from her oshis living out their dreams while she's been busy doing this shit. It's hard to start something long form like that. About the longest form thing that Amanda has been following and keeping track of is you and Nicola's Tuesday's excursions into Satan's butthole in Minecraft. Because you look at it, Satan's butthole is really the most apt way to describe it. Okay, so Sweet curiosity that one of her subjects could become like this, possibly anger over Coyote being desecrated like this, but most like curiosity, potential that as a Coyote trickster spirit, Sandruby could just simply looking for how this could benefit her. Sandruby may also be angry at what Amanda has become, although it's not her fault. The gods don't need to be rational. It has a really interesting concept. Maybe watch a critique video of it when you have the time. Well, what concept? What's the concept? I'd be interested in taking a look sometime. May not be the angry. So this actually also plays into her looking. Oh, this also plays perfectly into why Sandruby looks and sounds like Amanda. The coyote spirit trying out her form in experimentation, in curiosity about what her subject has become. I keep getting the red line over curiosity, even though I know that's how it's spelled. Is that like the European spelling with the U? Like when I was talking about the ZX spectrum and I kept calling it the ZX spectrum, because most of my knowledge of the ZX spectrum comes from like Larry Bundy Jr. Shaman King had a lot of things in Native American, Mesoamerican, and other things. Well, it's I'll have to take a look. I will put a pin on that, Malone. Thank you. That might be interesting. It may also be an attempt to connect with Amanda as a person, as approaching her in a familiar form would be easier than approaching her as a god, and other than her family on the Splats reservation, the only person she was familiar with was herself. So I like that. I really like that. And that perfectly explains why I look like Amanda and I sound like Amanda. And also saves me the trouble of doing a voice changer or something in the future. Because I thought about doing a voice changer. And Amanda initially was going to have a voice changer. But then she thought, if she's going to be a V singer like Nicola, and Nicola already uses a voice changer, then it might be too much of a ripoff. Plus, one day, if the Amanda Splats project does take off and she reveals to IG Father Splats that she is Amanda Splats, it would do more of an honor to him that he used her voice, because the love for the Eagles, that is Father Splats, and the love for singing, that is also a lot of what you see as your faithful Amanda Splats came from her father, and did not always have the best relationship. So this is kind of a way, maybe eventually, to help bring them back together if she ends up revealing this. There's different voice changes, but yeah, also there's Amanda's not here, Kara. I thought you'd figure that out by now. Amanda's not here right now. She's not going to be streaming until Saturday. But the other issue with the voice changes would be if Amanda wanted to do them for karaoke, there would be a hell of a lot of lag to figure out. Because the one filter that she does have, just to get rid of pops and gate noise and stuff like that, that filter, it's a 100 millisecond delay. So she set the delay to minus 100 and it fits perfect. It's close enough to perfect. It may not be perfect, but it's close enough to perfect that you can't tell. From what I heard what Amanda heard from Nicola, the voice changer that Nicola uses is nearly 1,000 milliseconds behind, nearly a second behind. So figuring that out would be a hell of an issue in and of itself. So voice chatting, just chatting with a voice changer, I don't think there'd be a horrible problem. Especially since, my 3D model, you can't see my voice moving because it's a mask. Although it's not really a mask, I just disabled mouth tracking to give the illusion of a mask. But for singing, it was just not going to be feasible. Because Nicola's karaoke's are great, they're always interesting, but you can tell that she's behind the music some of the time, a lot of the time. And I don't know if that's with the changing OBS settings or what. So, for someone who's not as technically proficient as Amanda, even with Nicola's advice, it was just easier to use a normal voice. May try experimenting with the voice changer in the future, but for now, this actually does perfectly explain why I look like a maligned version of Splats. So this also plays perfectly into why Sandruby looks and sounds like Amanda, the coyote spirit, trying out her form and experimentation, curiosity about what her subject has become. It may also be an attempt to connect with Amanda as a person. Approaching in her familiar form would be easier than approaching her as a god. Other than family on the Splats reservation, the only person she was familiar with was herself. I like that. I think I like that. So, Amanda's... And I think this doesn't retcon the original Amanda Splats origin story that was written up. Because if it was something that was run over, that not necessarily... a sacred creature was present. I was present. but it's not the sacred creature that got run over. And if that's the way, if it's a mortal coyote that got run over, then that could also explain that could save us from having the weird fucking mix of magics thing, the clashing the Mojave type Native American magic with the Isekai Eastern magic. That would prevent that from being a problem too. So I think that's what we're gonna go with for now. That Amanda was a coyote, but Sandruby is the coyote spirit. Anyone who's I've brought it up a couple times before. Anyone who's interested in the actual origin of the name Sandruby, it's a reference to Final Fantasy IV. It's one of the early items you pick up, quest item, where you have to. I'm not going to spoil it because Amanda still wants to play it. Problem with Final Fantasy IV, none of the translations are supposedly really that good. There's the Pixel Remaster that's supposedly good, but that's like $18 for an old game. It's like, I think maybe 20, 25 hours. And could possibly emulate the original one, but the original vanilla Final Fantasy IV cuts out a ton of shit. It cuts out a whole subplot about Kain, and it cuts out the abilities like Cecil's Darkwave ability, or Rose's Prey ability, or a lot of other stuff. It's it's the thing that they got initially in the U.S. that was initially called Final Fantasy II. Was it was a great game, but it was a very flawed port. There are, I believe, fan patches available for it, where it restores. I think they called it hard type or easy type or something, where it restores those. Like, there's another game RPG that Amanda wanted to do called the Seventh Saga. It's very interesting. Seventh Saga is very interesting because there's a big element of randomness there. There are 7 possible protagonists. You pick one at the beginning, and then you could possibly have a second one as a partner. And then the other 5 characters, their actions are randomly generated. And one of them, I believe, is actually randomly selected to be an evil lord. So even if you're playing the game straight, everything is still random. And it can make that's the hardest thing to do with RPGs and things like that, is make replayability. Because if you're gonna beat a game that's 100 hours long, what's gonna compel you to put another 100 hours into it? And I think a lot of modern RPG ports understand this, so they just give you like bonus dungeons and bonus bosses. They don't have you replay the whole thing again. But that would be the replayability issue. Like, Amanda spent a ton of money on, not a ton of money, it was on sale. She bought West of Loathing. It was tons of content. It was amazing stuff. But now that she's completed it and the DLC, she's probably never going to touch it again. So you always got to be careful with content like that. So, so that's what I think for now, unless Amanda gets a better idea. That's what we're going to go with. Sandruby is the coyote spirit, and Amanda is the coyote that became a magical girl. Because that does not, like I said, I don't think that really retcons anything heavy in the initial story. Maybe she's just confused. She thought she only survived because she was God. Or that might be something I told her at some point, because I'm coyote, I'm trickster. And that goes back to Amanda being an unreliable narrator. Not that she's a liar, but if you're fucking run over by a giant truck and you wake up as a woman or a man or an androgynous or a babaniku screaming with your guts splayed out on the road, you're not going to remember every fucking detail. And there are possible reasons why I could have told her certain things. Because I am the coyote spirit. I am as close to God as she will ever get. That's kind of sad. Do you think she'll rebel against me someday? Do you think she'll challenge me? Or will I have to put her down? Will I have to take her back? Believe it or not, there are a lot of outside factors that might play into whether you see Amanda or Sandruby going forward. There's been a lot of things going on the last couple weeks, and like I said at the top, we're handling things differently from now on. We're doing things my way. Block and report trolls. Don't give them air, don't give them energy. And this is the last we're going to speak of it. We're going to leave it here in the desert. Before we go, though, I think I'll just go at the top of the hour. There is one area I wanted to possibly explore. During one of Sandruby's solo streams, she brought up where it happened. And Malone, you were there for this. Or no, you were. You visited this place in Desert Chronicle where it happened. The place where Amanda was run over by the isekai truck. Sandruby intimated that there was a place called where she suffered. And indicated that it was a far off place, that she somehow made it there after getting run over, but before getting help from the medics. Because eventually the paramedics did come out. The natives heard the crash, and they were just sort of the natives heard the crash and came out, and eventually the paramedics did get involved. So there's this place. What is where she suffered? Where she suffered indicated it was a far off place, getting run over. Paramedics. This could possibly be the lair of the coyote spirit, a primal and frightened Amanda mid-transformation, instinctive. Oh, I think I like this. Instinctively finding her way to the coyote spirit, who either took pity on her, took an interest in her for her own profit, or both. I actually kind of love that. Amanda, when after getting run over, did not just stay there. She ended up crawling out, suffering, gutted, ripped open, to the coyote spirit's dwelling. And that kind of plays in what I was thinking about if it was going to be a lich. But again, I think the lich, as cool as an idea as a lich controlling Amanda's corpse all this time, is it just doesn't fit into the established mythology or the type of thing I'm trying to do. This could possibly be the lair of the coyote spirit, a primal and frightened Amanda mid-transformation, instinctively finding her way to the coyote spirit, whether took pity on her or took an interest in her for her own profit, or both. So she was transformed by the isekai trap running her over, but it could be Sandruby that kept her alive long enough. Because how else, if the medics were that late and it took long enough that the people of the Splats Reservation kept her alive and kept praying for her. And maybe that's what they were praying for. Maybe they were praying for the coyote spirit. It is possible that the Splats Reservation was praying to the coyote spirit, and they were praying over her, and that direct intervention allowed her to live long enough for the medics to get out there. I think I like that. So the running idea is that Amanda was initially a simple coyote in the desert capitalized, because it's not just a desert, it's the desert, run over by the isekai truck, becoming roadkill, but being turned into a magical girl by proxy. Oh, no, that's not it. The isekai process not working out as planned initially, as she was crushed under the wheel as opposed to hit by the grill, which is the style at the time. The usual. Oh. She somehow clawed her way over from where it happened to where she suffered the chanting and prayers of the people, summoning curiosity of the coyote spirit. Blessed Amanda long enough to allow her to be saved. It is possible that the trickster spirit is looking for something in return, or is planning on reclaiming Amanda at some point. That is why Sandruby seems malicious, malevolent, and antagonistic, yet also helps Amanda, as she did during her mental breakdown and subsequent Sandruby premiere. could also play into Sandruby being the wiser one. How to deal and taking control of certain aspects of Amanda's channel and its protocols. Because we initially tried doing things Amanda's way and it didn't work, so we're doing it my way now. So I'm gonna wrap it up in a little bit. I feel 2 hours is good. I got a lot more done and a lot more content out of this than I thought I would. So let's take a look at what we've got, see if it makes sense reading it out. Hold on. It's always nice when all you hear is construction and sirens. Really makes you want to go outside and do shit. Okay, so we're going with the assumption that Sandruby is the coyote spirit and not Amanda. But Amanda is also something magical, as she was run over by the isekai truck. It's possible that Amanda was just once a coyote, not a mythical coyote spirit. And when a coyote was crushed under the isekai wheel, could have easily gotten the attention of the coyote spirit, assumed to be Sandruby, much of the way that Loth, the goddess of the drow, is very hands-on with the race. With Amanda being revived, so to speak, as a magical girl, a lanky, bony, 6'6" desert bitch, this could bring up mixed feelings in Sandruby. Sparking your curiosity, the wonder of subjects could become this. Because you don't see isekai trucks out in the desert very often, if ever. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Possibly anger over a coyote being desecrated like this, but more of a curiosity and potential that, as a coyote trickster spirit, Sandruby could simply be looking to see how this could benefit her. Sandruby may also be angry at what Amanda has become, although it's not her fault. The gods don't need to be rational. This also plays perfectly into why Sandruby looks and sounds like Amanda, the coyote spirit trying out her form of experimentation, curiosity about what her subject has become. It may also be an attempt to connect with Amanda as a person, as approaching her familiar form would be easier than approaching her as a god, and other than her family on the Splats reservation, the only person she was familiar with was herself. There's got to be a better way to word that. I'll think about it later. During one of Sandruby's solo streams, she brought up where it happened, the place where Amanda was run over by the isekai truck. Sandruby intimated that there was also a place called Where She Suffered, and indicates it was a far-off place, and she could make it there after getting run over. But before getting help from the medics. Could possibly be the lair of the coyote spirit, a primal and frightened Amanda, mid-transformation, instinctively finding a way to the coyote spirit, who either took pity on her, took an interest in her for her own profit, or both. It is possible that the Splats reservation was praying to the coyote spirit when they were praying over her, and that direct intervention allowed her to live long enough for the medics to get out there. Use Bing. You mean to generate artwork or to look shit up? Because I just use whatever is built into Brave now to look things up. But I do use the Microsoft Copilot. I think it's on Bing. Technically, it's Microsoft Copilot to generate the artwork. Although it is really hard. Before I barred her from ever going to Mongolia ever again and stopped her from checking that website, Amanda said that someone was working on a chibi for me, but they were having troubles with the mask. Doing AI generations, I was having trouble with the mask also. It just doesn't seem to want to give me what I want when I get too descriptive with it. Oh, for wording. Well, I use AI artwork because I can't draw. That's why Amanda also uses AI because she can't draw. But if I can write, or she can write, I want it to come directly out without AI unfiltered. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, but I just want this to be pure writing. So the running idea is that Amanda was a simple coyote in the desert, run over by the isekai truck, becoming roadkill, but being turned into a magical girl by prophecy. The isekai process not working out as planned initially, she was crushed under the wheel as opposed to hit by the grill, which was the usual protocol. She somehow clawed her way over from where it happened to where she suffered, the chanting and prayers of the people summoning the curiosity of the coyote spirit, who eventually blessed Amanda long enough to allow her to be saved. It is possible that the trickster spirit is looking for something in return, planning on reclaiming Amanda at some point. That is why Sandruby seems malevolent and antagonistic, yet also helps Amanda as she did during her mental breakdown and subsequent Sandruby premiere. This could also play into that's just talking about not feeding the fucking trolls. So I think that's good. I think even though we didn't actually write an actual story today, this is good too. This is cathartic. Sitting down and hammering out ideas before you do something. And just the process of creation can be fun also. And I think that was the initial aim of the Amanda Splats project. Not just gaming, but doing stories and creative writing stuff. It seems like she's the only one who's interested in lore to this level. But she has reached out to other people, and we'll see if anything comes of it or not. It may not. She might be just doing lore herself, but that's fine, because that's what she's to do. The Amanda Splats project is supposed to be an experiment in doing things differently, doing VTubing differently, and this is part of it. Plus, obviously, Amanda was highly inspired, and directly inspired for this type of thing by the writing streams of One Mother TV, who counseled her a lot and was very instrumental to her being a VTuber in the first place. I want lore, but I love it to form naturally. Yeah, I understand that. It's just, I guess as a writer, a writer, it's more about wanting to hammer that out in the process, because you've got all these beautiful, brilliant ideas in your head. But then sitting down as an adult with a job and a life and a career and a hobby of these, taking the time to sit down and write out your ideas, it's just no bueno sometimes. Not getting time. So it's kind of nice that we're able to stream this. Because I'm able to be a little creative and make a little content out of it. It's great. It's great. So that's what they say. You do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Again, Amanda has no interest in making any money off of this channel. Although things do really seem to be blowing up after last week. So we'll see where this leads. We'll see where this leads. But whatever it is, she wants to do it her way. And that is something I wholeheartedly agree with. Because there is a market for this. There is a market for this. Not market, I'd say. There is a fan base for this. And it's proven by the fact that Mother TV has her community, and her community's been going quite well. For as long as it has, she's been a linchpin of that. So I think we're going to wrap it up here for today. I'm trying to do a little mental math. Trying to figure out, do we have enough time? Because we're going to stay, because Masal's going to be at 7 o'clock, no matter what. Because we want to try to do it in one sitting. It's the remaster, the 2024 remaster. Amanda has played the original before, but I can't imagine the remaster has been that much different or has that much extra content. And a normal playthrough of the remaster, I believe it's just like 1 to 2 hours. The great thing is, though, that Amanda can, with her normal shift, Amanda can go until like 11 o'clock. She used to have to go to bed at like 8 to 9 o'clock. Now she goes 11 or 12 and still get up in time to do what she needs to do for work. That was the greatest thing to happen this last week. Now that she's working from home, her body, she does not have to have these physical ravages of previous work. Now it's all administrative, doing it from home, and giving her a lot of her life back. And now that she's a streamer, she gets to share that life with you, because she is always thinking about you. She's always thinking about stream ideas and collab ideas, and this has become a big. It's not the driving force of her life. There is a. I know there's some people talking about life outside. There is a life outside, obviously. All of us have a life outside of streaming, but this has now become a big part of her free time, and all these great people that she's met. She just wants to do right by them, and it starts by giving them the content that she loves, because she knows if she loves it, then the people who come to watch it are going to be people who love it as well. Let me go ahead and save as Sandruby Origin Live 9/25/24. Guys, 25th. Has it really been almost a month since the last writing? Maybe that's good. Maybe that's a good maybe that's a good timing. Like maybe writing once a month. I know Amanda wanted to do a fun writing stream, telling a silly story or a goofy story with input from her chat, but this happened with the older stories too. Amanda has a very, very, very bad case of last act syndrome. If you're familiar with that, with any comedy anime, there are a lot of comedy anime out there where they suddenly get serious for the last 2 episodes. Like Miami Guns was pretty notorious for this. And Excel Saga even got really serious the last couple episodes, even though that's literally a parody anime. It even happened to them. But Amanda has a serious case of last act syndrome, where she wrote stuff that's supposed to be goofy and funny, but in the end, things turn dark and serious. It may or may not be due to her depression at the time, but I think that's something that, if we recognize this being a problem, we can handle that going forward. Just gotta be a little revision, taking a look through a critical eye, and just honing your craft and getting that experience. And I do thank you, Skelly Jump Scare. I do thank you for experiencing this with me today. Hero of Logic, Kara, Malone, all the others, anyone lurking, VOD Gang, I do thank you for stopping by. Gotta go get some water filters, and maybe a couple other things. I kind of dread going to the store today, I do. But we effectively don't have any water right now. That's kind of fucking important in the desert. So I'm just trying to do a little mental math. Want to hit as many stores as possible when I go out today, but want to get back in time to do Misao. Because like we should be doing, unless I don't see Misao being more than 4 hours, unless they add a ton of stuff to the remaster. Because I don't want to be streaming on Amanda's channel that much. I served my purpose, and I think there's a very, very specific purpose that I could serve in the future. Although I will tell you, she is flirting with the idea of me being the one who plays Inscription. Because that's one of the like 3 or 4 games she has on her Steam right now, that she's not streamed yet or played yet. Because it was a part of a 2-part with Buckshot Roulette. But we don't know if Buckshot Roulette was going to slow down her rig and make it almost unwatchable. Then we don't know what Inscription is going to do to it. So just going to have to test that out. Although it is running a lot better now that she shuts down Discord during streams. And she shuts down all Brave windows that are not critical. And getting rid of Microsoft Edge was the big one. Otsu Splats. Amanda's not here, Malone. Amanda's not fucking here. Come on. Otsu Desert. Otsu. I don't have an Otsu. I just have this. I'm Sandruby. And I was never here.